Thousands of people are dying on the job every year. Millions more get hurt or sick. That's not supposed to happen, but when Target 8 analyzed on-the-job death records in West Michigan, it uncovered holes in the system designed to protect our workers. Target 8 investigator Henry Erb exposes the gaps, then gets answers from the people in charge.
One of the worst days of my life, by far the worst.
That was the day in 2007 when her dad, Jesse Brown, died in the Federal Mogul foundry in Sparta where they both worked.
They had actually come and got me because there were no first responders there, and they wanted me to give him CPR because he was bleeding. And I gave him CPR until the fire department got there.
Brown was found with the upper part of his body caught on a machine called a wheel blaster.
I still feel angry.
His mom says Jesse was a union leader who worried about safety at the foundry.
What makes me angry is it could have been avoided if they would have just met the safety standards that OSHA has set.
OSHA, the federal workplace safety agency, allows 25 states to run their own programs. Michigan is one of them, so MyOSHA investigated. It found one serious violation directly related to his death. A separate investigation found 2 more violations. Total penalties, $7,650.
My son's life was worth $6,000, $7,000 to them.
Not even that. The company fixed the violations, and MyOSHA dropped the penalties to a little more than $4,000. Our targeted analysis of past penalties shows such markdowns are actually routine, even though the U.S. Labor Department's Inspector General found OSHA doesn't really know if they make jobs safer. MyOSHA says it uses the lure of reduced penalties to get employers to fix dangers faster and to avoid drawn-out appeals. Families see it another way.
I think it's a slap on the wrist.
Woefully inadequate is what the American Industrial Hygiene Association called federal OSHA penalties, which mostly mirror Michigan's. Some other government watchdogs have more bite. Killing a mine worker, for example, often draws penalties in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But Target 8 investigators found MyOSHA penalties like these. A $6,300 penalty settled for $1,610 after a worker in Battle Creek died pinned to the ceiling by a borrowed scissor lift with controls different from the ones he was used to. A $4,700 penalty dropped to $2,350 when a worker in Otsego was pulled into a piece of machinery by an unguarded belt. All serious violations in Michigan last year drew an average penalty of just $805. So we wanted to know how MyOSHA Director Martha Yoder explains it.
How can a few $100s or even a few $1,000s encourage somebody to make a workplace safer?
I don't think penalties in and of themselves will ever motivate people to create safe and healthful work environments.
She says penalties are not meant to punish.
When the state plan came on the scene, there was a philosophy of educate before you regulate.
So MyOSHA tries to educate employers instead.
I would love people to have a better understanding of is that MyOSHA is here to partner with employers, with associations, with anyone that is interested in working collaboratively to create safe and healthful work environments.
So how's that working out for us? Deaths in industries MyOSHA covers dropped dramatically from 87 in 1999 to 27 last year. Clouding that bright picture is the drastic drop in the number of jobs themselves. Factory and building jobs both down by more than a third.
You just have less people at risk, and so you're going to have less deaths.
Still, Dr. Ken Rosenman says some work has gotten safer. He's a job safety researcher at the Michigan State University Medical School.
If you look at the large companies in the state, they're much more safety conscious, and they're you know, striving not to have any related deaths.
But Rosenman says some employers might take their chances on a measly penalty if they think they can save money by avoiding safety fixes.
And so in that sense, yes, the penalties are not adequate for those employers who have that, you know, where safety is not part of their culture.
The only way clearly to get to them is through their pocketbook. And a $1,300 fine there and a $1,400 fine there is nothing to them.
Some United States senators agree they're trying to change the law to toughen OSHA penalties. We'll track how it goes. In Grand Rapids, I'm Target 8 investigator Henry Erb.